Good morning, everyone. My name is Vaishvi Pandya. I'm from Electronics and Communication Department, second year. I hope you all are having lovely morning. So before starting our session, I would like you all to answer a question. What exactly are the Android Study Jam sessions? What do you think? You can answer by replying in the chat box. Anyone? Oh, yes, right. It's truly true. A brief intro to the whole field, where we'll dig deep into this topic, but I will like to give you a short summary of what we are going to do today. First, we'll start with a small PPT presentation, followed by a brief introduction about the language that requires in Android app, and then we'll move on to Android Studio. So first, we'll start with the presentation.
If at any point you guys have doubts, then you are free to ask in chat box. And I would strongly recommend you to ask more doubts in the chat box so that everyone can get anything if at all it's a doubt to you. And everyone is requested to keep ready the Android Studio in your background so that as Vaishvi shows you new things, then even you can try it just when the workshop is going on.
Okay, so we'll start here by answering the question I asked earlier. What are Android study jams? Android study jams are community organized study groups for people to learn how to build Android apps. Here, we learn the basics of building Android apps with the Kotlin programming language. This is the new to programming track, that is the beginner's level. Firstly, we learn to code in Kotlin, a modern programming language that helps you to be more comfortable. Secondly, we learn to create and run your very first Android app in Android Studio, which you all may have already done as the video link was already provided earlier. Third, we learn the basics of layout in Android by creating your own birthday card app. And lastly, we learn how to use classes, objects, and conditionals to create an interactive app. We'll be moving through three pathways. Pathway 1 is the Kotlin programming language. You'll be working through the Android basics in Kotlin course. Now, what is Kotlin? Kotlin is a programming language that you will use to build Android apps. Kotlin is a modern and popular programming language. Kotlin allows you to be more concise when writing your code, and you can write safer code that's less prone to errors. Kotlin is an expressive and concise programming language that reduces common code errors. You may also come across Java language while working with Kotlin. What is Java? Java is a class-based object-oriented programming language that is designed to have as few implementation dependencies as possible. The syntax of Java is similar to C and C++, which you may have learned in your 11th or 12th or in first year. But Java has fewer low-level facilities than C and C++. Then, what is Kotlin Playground? Kotlin Playground, we'll be working through Kotlin Playground. Kotlin Playground in the next course. Now, what is Flutter? Flutter is an open source UI software development kit created by Google. Flutter is also an base where you can also build Android apps, but Flutter and Kotlin are different. Both can help you build Android apps, but you have to know which one to use. The question here arises, why one prefer Kotlin over Flutter or vice versa? The answer here lies is about preference. Which one is more comfortable with the developer? Flutter is new, so the inbuilt libraries are less as compared to Kotlin. What are libraries will be explained further. Now we'll be moving to Pathway 2, Android Studio. Pathway 2 is where you can create your first app. You will need to download and install Android Studio, which I assume everyone must have installed. This is official tool that professional developers use for Android development. In Android Studio, you can also use the Android emulator, which can emulate various Android devices on your computer. The emulator allows you to run your app and it provides almost all capabilities that a real device would have. Lastly, user interface. You'll learn about the concepts of customizing the user interface of a simple app. The user interface, also known as UI of your app, includes what the app looks like and how the user interacts with it. You can, in simple layman terms, you can also say the designing of an app. The layout of an app is the design or arrangement of what the user sees on the screen. In Android, a layout is made up of views. As you can see here in the pictures, you can get an idea of what I'm saying, that layout is made up of views. I'll give you a minute to go through the picture. Here are some examples of types of views that are provided by Android. Text view for displaying text, image view for displaying images, and button to perform some action when tapped. Okay, that's it. In a moment, we'll start the course. If you get stuck, you can ask me, who will be available. We are here to answer whatever questions you have. For example, if you need help installing Android Studio or getting your app to run on your Android device. So by just simply writing yes in the chat box, can anyone give me the answer that you all are excited to learn what we are going to learn together? Thank you. So now, before we begin, we are going to write our first program in the Kotlin language using an interactive editor. Just like you use human language to communicate with another person, you use a programming language to communicate with the operating system of your computer. So now we'll start with, go to Google browser and just type Kotlin Playground. Here you'll get a bunch of options on Kotlin Playground, but we specifically here will use Kotlin Playground of Android developers as this is the course that we are doing. What course now we are doing? As earlier said by Parth, that this is the course provided by Google. Here it's of 3 steps: beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level. Here we'll be giving you tasks which you will have to complete and give back in return. The mail will be given to you and all the information will be provided about the course. So I think you must be excited to learn more. Now, learning to create an app and learning the basics of programming at the same time will be challenging. So, we are going to start you all with a bit of programming before getting into app creation. Becoming comfortable with some programming basics first is not only an important step towards creating apps, it is also going to make it easier to create your first app later. Now, as you can see, there is a box in which a code is written. That box we can call an input outlet. On the right hand side top corner of the box, you can see a green color arrow, which if you tap on it, for example, now, will give you an output. This process is also known as compilation process that translates the Kotlin programming language code into a form that the system can run. Here down you can see hello world, which is the output we got from the input panel. Now we'll start with understanding the parts of programming. Fun here stands for function. A function is a section of program that performs a specific task. Main is the name of this function. Different functions have different names, so they can be distinguished. Here, this function is called main because it is the first or main function that is called when you run the program. Every Kotlin program needs a function named main. The function name is followed by two parentheses, or we can also call brackets, round brackets. For the inside the parentheses, you can put information for the function to use. This input to the for the function is called arguments. We will learn about these arguments later. Notice the pair of curly brackets after parentheses. Inside a function is called parentheses. Inside a function is code that accomplishes the task. As we can see here, hello world written between these brackets. Println tells the system to print a line of text. Keep in mind that the text to be printed is surrounded by quotes. This is very important as this tells the system that everything inside the quoted marks should be printed. So now we'll see different methods on how we can write hello world. Here println is the function and here hello world is written. So we'll start by writing println hello and then println world. It is not necessary to write in the new line, but I prefer as it will give the code to be more clean and precise. I will run the program. As you can see, the text has shifted to another line. This means the println statement, if written in two different lines, will give you the output in two different lines. As I told earlier, anything written between the quote will show the output panel that anything can be printed. Now it's not us. We can write anything gibberish also. For example, I know this doesn't make any sense, but just I want to show you that the computer does not know that it doesn't make sense. It will print anything inside the quotes. Now, we'll move on to what is the difference between println and print. We'll use only print instead of println, and we'll write hello world. You can see here, hello world is written continuously. Now, difference between println and print is println helps you to change the line and print does not help you to change the line. If you want to have a gap between hello world, you will have to insert an extra print with no text written in between the quotation marks. For example, and remember to put a space between the quotation. Now here we'll get the same output as when we used println hello world. For changing For changing line, we can also use \n. For example, I'll show you here how. Remove the print and print world. We'll use only one. We'll use some other text rather than hello world, as you might be bored seeing this. We can write anything. I want to write hello with line break. So we'll start with that. Here, line break is the text that we wanted to add. Now you can see /n has created a gap. Hello and line break are not in the same line. It is because we have put /n in ahead of line, which tells you that you want a space in between /n. Now let us try putting /n in front of break. You can see here the break has shifted and line has gone with hello, because we have used print instead of println, and also after the first quotation mark in the second print line we have left a space. Now if we remove that space, we'll see that hello and line will be joined. This is the basic of, so here we have learned about println and how to use /n if you want to break the line. Now we'll learn about some errors that you can make. I've already written an code here because to save time, but you'll have to write your code on its own when you open the Kotlin playground. The Kotlin playground is same as we used earlier by going to Google and typing Kotlin playground Android developers. So here we'll start how to deal with errors. Here I have written happy birthday Chandler, you are 25 in different lines, and as we know from earlier that println helps the line to break. So first we'll try running this statement. Here is your output. Now, what the errors can be. Let us try removing the quotes. As we talked about it earlier, it is very important. Making mistakes while programming is normal, and most tools will give you the feedback to help your mistakes. Here in the output pane, it shows a message and an error. Here the sign, red sign here with an exclamation point. If you put your cursor on that, it will show you unresolved reference Chandler. Same in the output pane. This message here tells what the system thinks that the error in the code. Even if you don't know what message means, you may be able to figure out what's wrong, because in the error it is shown that something is wrong with Chandler. If the code is very long, it might help you to catch the error very easily as the error will be given to you by the system itself. In this case, we know println prints text. We learned earlier that the text has to be between quotes. Now we'll put quotes back again. See, it has come back to normal. You can try different errors. Now we can try removing the parentheses or the round brackets. It is also an important part because it will not run without the round brackets. Program will not run. See, here in error, it is written expecting bracket. So you can know that what the error is, and you can cure the error by looking into the program. We'll run again. I hope you know how to deal with errors. Now we'll move on to another program. This is a bit long, but it has nothing. As if we remove the center part of the program, we'll just see that is happy birthday Rover. You are already 5. 5 is the very best age to celebrate. It is just the same program as we written earlier about happy birthday Chandler. Just I have added something in between. It doesn't seem like a cake, but we can't have an actual picture of it. So we'll try using making it using code codes. To help others understand your code, you can add a comment before you print the cake. If you run your code, the output won't look any different because comments are just information for you, not the system. What are comments? Here, you can see a gray line. This are what comments are. This will not change how your output looks. An inline comment starts with the following with this, followed by a text. It is necessary that you have to give this symbol in order to write a comment. Now we'll run the code and see how it shows. You can see the output is not different whether we add the comment section or not. Now we'll try removing the comment to see if the output is any different or not. See here, the output is not different and we didn't even get any errors. So the comment here shows that it is important for us to understand what we are writing. As you can see, if you only write the code here, you will not understand what you are writing. You may understand what you are writing, but the person saying it will be confused. So in order to not be confused, you have to add and comment. It is completely optional, but it will be better if you do. Right? I'll again add. Now, see, after the exclamation point in let's print a cake, we can add anything in the same line and it will still show the same color, that is gray. But now if I change the line, that is not the part of a comment. Remember, if you want to add a comment, you have to continue using the same line after the symbol because that only shows a comment. If you want to write another comment below it, you again have to use this symbol. The main point that you will know that this is the comment is because of the gray color it shows. I added an extra comment and the output is still the same. The comment is just for your conveniency, not for anyone else. So it is preferable to give a clean code. I hope you all understand this. Now we'll move to next. Here, in the last code, notice how we are repeating to everything individually slowly. Here, VAL is a special word used by Kotlin called a keyword, followed by the name of the variable. Age here is the name of the variable. Equal to sign makes the value of age be the same as the value on its right, which is 5 here. It can be said that this equal to line declares a variable named age whose assigned value is 5. So here the variable age assigned value is 5. To use variable inside a print statement, you need to surround it with some symbols that tells the system that what comes next is not a text but a variable. Here, the symbol we used is a dollar sign. It is really important that you use only $sign because it is the code. It cannot be changed as the code is already made. But always keep in mind that you can not only write age, you have to add and $sign before it to know the system that it is not a text but a variable. You do this by putting your variable inside your curly brackets preceded by a $sign. Here you can see that you are already, in earlier code we wrote you are already 5 and 5 days old. Now we have in both places we have added $sign age. Now we'll try to run this statement. Here you're already 5 years old, and 5-year-old is the very best age to it. Age has been replaced by 5. That you have to call out the variable before putting it in the print statement, and this calling out will be always after the function main. Now you must be thinking that only numbers can be used during repeating. No, we can also write name. Here name rover also has been used 2 times. So we call out the variable name, that is rover, and we'll also change rover in both the codes with dollar, and always remember you have to use curly brackets here. The curly brackets here is not same as we used earlier. We'll try and run the statement again. We can see here what is the mistake we have done here. It has written unresolved reference rover. Now what can be the mistake? That we have not added quotation. It is important to add quotation in the name. Not it cannot be necessary for the number, but you have to add it in the name. See, now the error has been gone, and then we have acquired the same output as we have done earlier. Now it is 5 days old. What if we want something to be a big more number, but you don't want to write a big whole number, anything. For example, if you write 1825 1865, if you add a multiplication sign in number, let's say 5 multiplied by anything 365, if you want to do a year, it will not make any difference in the output. It will just give you the number of days. We have run the statement and see here. Here the 5 days old has 1825 days old. Anything in border. We want Happy Birthday Chandler to be surrounded by borders. So in order to break the Happy Birthday Chandler into next line, we have to add a println statement which will help to break 2 lines. Now we'll again add it and see. And remember that we have to add println after closing the curly bracket of the print. As I told you earlier, it is not the same as the main function. Here again, Happy Birthday Chandler has now shifted to next line because we added println, as we wanted Happy Birthday Chandler to be covered by border equal to signs. I hope it is clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, anyone else? There is a question. If we take println equal to, we will get perfect result. In which println means you are talking about the second function or first function, it depends. No, it will not give the same result, as it will um, add print l equal to, it will add equal to sign before happy birthday Chandler. If you want to see, we can see again. Let's add equal to sign here. Here you can see that it is not in the same. You can here see that instead, if we count here, it will be 11 instead of 10. I am giving you some time to, if you can count, but I am counting. We have written in the repeat statement 10. But if we see in the happy birthday Chandler borders, if I count here, it will be 11. If you don't want any change, then you can add here equal to. But if you want an extra, then you can put how many. If we put 2 to 3 extra here, let's try here and run the statement again. Again, it has increased to 14 or 15. It is clear. If we use only one print ln, it will give result. Yes, it will give result. Means uh, after repeat, right? You are asking after repeat if you use print ln, or only one print ln statement in the function main. In, it will not give the same result, as I earlier told to someone that print ln is important if you want the happy birthday Chandler line to change into the next line. If you don't want the border of the text you have written, that you cannot write print ln, but print ln is important in order to change the lines and clearly show that we have made a border. I hope I'm clear. Am I clear? Thank you. So do I have to go slow, or I'm at the good pace? Can anyone tell? Okay. Thank you. So now I hope that everyone is familiar with the coding. I familiar with the coding. This is the basic one. As we know, here is we are at the beginners level. I'm assuming that not many of you would be good at the coding. But what we are going to do now, we'll have we'll have to have only the basic knowledge. So don't be too that I didn't understand this or that. The email that we'll be providing you will be having these all things that you can learn on your own also. So now we'll be starting with Android Studio. I hope everyone must have installed it by now. And if you do not have, then it's fine. You can do it later after I tell you what exactly Android Studio is. Now I have opened the Android Studio, but it is already that I have made a new project. This is not the thing that will come on your screen when you open Android Studio. I'm simply going to file new and new project to
Vaishvi,
yes.
wait a minute. So guys, before moving on to application development, there is a tradition in DSC that for every workshop we take pictures of the workshop and their members. So this year we are having this virtual workshop. So I request everyone to turn on your cameras so that we can take pictures, and we will be posting it on our social media handles. So I request you everyone, please turn on your cameras. Yeah, Vaishvi, you can continue.
Okay, I'll again present the screen. Just wait for a minute. So as am I audible? Can anyone turn on their speaker and tell? It is visible also.
Yeah, it is visible also.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll start. As I told earlier, this is not the screen you will be seeing when you start an Android Studio app. I'll again start with new one. Now, this is what you will be seeing when you start your app. Remember that this is a project template. Here is a project template, and left hand side corner, you can see a phone and tablet section. That is for the apps you want to build for your phone or tablets. Here the templates are many. As you can see here, there are many templates that you can use, but some of them are from advanced level or from intermediate level. But from here, I'm going to use an empty activity. And you also have to use this for your first project. The empty activity template is the simplest template that can be used to create an app. It has a single screen and displays a simple message, hello world. Hello world, as we have seen in the coding language. This is a configure your project page. Here, it's the name, my application. I'll just simply remove it and I'll write my birthday. Package name is the name used by the Android system to uniquely identify your app. Usually, this defaults to the name of your organization followed by the name of the app. As I have written my birthday, so here it is become my birthday. Save location is the location where all the files related to your projects are saved. Take a note of where that is on your computer. But for now, you can keep the same as it is here. Language. Remember that you have to keep the language Kotlin. As we have, as I have explained earlier, the Java and Kotlin. Kotlin also uses some of the Java, but here for the basic app, we are going to use the Kotlin language. Then we have minimum SDK. That indicates the minimum version of Android that your app can run on. If you don't know, always keep it on API 19 Android 4.4. It is almost same for all the Windows. So don't change it. Here already I have, but if you open your app for the first time, you might have to change it. And always click on this use legacy Android support libraries. Libraries that I talked about earlier, that Flutter has less libraries, that is just new. Libraries are the inbuilt codes that a app can provide. Now we'll just finish it. Okay, now this may take 5 to 10 minutes if it is new. Here I'll not be wasting much of the time because it may take time. So I already have prepared a template. This is the template that you saw earlier. So I have already prepared happy birthday card template. You can see here where I put my cursor, birthday card template. But you can I have shown you how to open new app, and always have patience as it can be more than 5 to 10 minutes if your computer is slow. So here we start with getting to know each and every part of the Android Studio. It may take some time, but it is worth it, trust me. Now there are three panels here as you can see. First here is the project panel. Here you can see all your projects that you would have done. Here I can show you mine that what I have done. but when it is not as important. As I told you earlier, the save location about thing, you can see here if you have many applications made. But for making an app that we are going to make, it is not much needed, so we can hide it if we want. You can just drag the center part into left and right. If you're okay with it, you don't have to. The middle part is where we write our code. It is not necessary that we have to write our code. As I talked about libraries, the inbuilt code, this is the inbuilt code that is written, but we can change here according to our needs. The third part is the design part. Whatever we will write on the code one will be displayed here. On the right hand side corner, you can see three parts: code, split, and design. Now we'll see what is code. Here, as I tapped on code, it is already the thing I showed you earlier about the code inbuilt libraries. It will come like this only. Now let us try by split. I generally prefer split because the code I write will always be displayed on the design which I'm making. So it makes it easier for me to have a try on the cursor that I'm telling, so you can be easier. This is the palette which contains various views and view groups that you can drag into your project. Let's try dragging text view. See, really easy that you have to only drag an object, drag any of the palette views. It can be anything. Then app theme will be there, that what app theme you want. It will change according to how you make your changes in the design view that you are going to make. Here on the right upper side corner, same here we can see a pixel. This is now we'll learn about this, what this is. Here I have already made an Android virtual device or emulator that I told you about. But for an emulator to run on your device, you have to create a new emulator. We will learn about creating, as you can do tools. And here AVD manager. Either way you can access to AVD manager, but always remember, in order to access the emulator, AVD manager is also called an emulator. The full form of AVD is Android virtual device. I'll call it emulator for now. In order to do that, you have to create a new device. And how to create new device, I'll show you. Now, here I already have made a virtual device, but when you open this Android virtual device, there will be a plain pane which will give you a small box which will tell you create your virtual device. And then when we click on create your virtual device, you will get this hole that is select hardware. You can choose phone here, as we are going to make app for a phone, and you can select Pixel 3 XL. I have still Pixel 3 XL. You can choose anything, but this is the most convenient for me. Remember, anything that is convenient for you, you have to change. You will know what is convenient for you if you use it once. I know this is convenient for me, so this is, and I'll recommend this only. Now just click on next. Here you will have a list of options that you may want to download. As you can see, Q, as I have already made a virtual emulator, the Q does not show download option here. But as it will be a first time, you will have a download option here, and you have to download that. Or everyone has to download Q, as it is the latest version, and it is very small to download. It will acquire very less space, and it is the latest version, so it will be very good if you use that. Download the Q version and just do next. It will give you the download option. Here I cannot do because I have already done, but just click on next and it will be installed, and then you will be able to access your emulator. Here I'll close my device. Accidentally I've created another, which it will see I have made another one, but it will not change anything. You can make how many you want. Here I have now 2. If once you have done this, then only you will be able to access your emulator. Always keep in mind. So now you can see here the the green arrow that we have seen in the Kotlin program earlier. That is the same as run app. That also in Kotlin playground also it shows that we have to run the program there, and we also here also will see that you have to run your program here. Okay, now as you can see here, as I told about that the left hand side column shows you the project files. In Android Studio, look at the project window on the left. The project window shows the files and folders of your project. I'll show you once. See, here is the project packages, project files. This will be in use once when you make more than one project. For now, as you are making one, it will be fine. So this is what is the basic of Android Studio. Okay, now we are making an app. So I will not be using an emulator. You can use an emulator, but I will be using a Visor app so that I can show you my phone. The Visor app is almost inbuilt in every computers, but in order for the Visor app to go, um, you have to install it the Visor app from Play Store in your mobile also. As you can see, I'll be opening the Visor. How to connect Visor? Install Visor app on your mobile from Play Store. Then use the USB cord to connect it from the laptop. And all laptops always have a Visor. Here, as you can see, I have already opened it. And in here, the panel, as we have shown that the panel here shows the Android emulator or any device that you are going to show your Android apps on. Let's open the Visor. We'll first the basic hello world, that empty activity template that we chose, it only showed hello world. The text view that we added earlier, I just wanted to show you that how can a drop down from text view can be done. So this is first the mainly. So we'll try and run this on our mobile phones. Here you can see that great build running, and down by my cursor, great build running. It is that your app is currently in the process of your code is in the currently process of making an app. First time it may take some while. You have to have patience. First time it always be slow, but once we do many other changes in the same layout, it will gradually do fast. Now what is Visor? In the laptop, you can just search Visor in your search panel. I'll show you once here. Here, Visor is this app which is mostly installed in every computer, but if you don't have, you can just install it from Google. It is just the same that you will able to see my screen from phone in the laptop. Till the great build is running. Till then, I'll show you some more things that you need to know. Now here you can see a constraint layout, where my constraint layout. You can see this. So this constraint layout is something. Constraint layout is something what the layout will look like. Now there are two types of layout: constraint layout and relative layout. Firstly, we'll be starting with constraint layout, and then we'll be moving on to relative layout. But the constraint layout is a bit of confusing, so I'm more comfortable with relative layout. But I'll be showing you both methods, so it does not complicate you. An error is shown, I'll be just doing that, but it is none of your concern. You can just, you will not have this problem. The Gradle is still building. It may take some time, as I told you earlier. Now again, we'll move on to constraint layout and relative layout. In the text view, you can see the hello world. Here in the code section, there's just a text view, hello world. Now, as you can see, some wrap content, parent, that is the basic codes that we would be using. But you don't have to remember it as it has been already in the inbuilt libraries. Here you can see Android text hello world. We'll be changing this. Now this hello world can be changed in both code or in design. Here wrap content, and also wrap content here. I'll just tell you in brief what these words mean. Wrap content here tells you that how much the space a word has taken. Like hello word, as you can see the blue lines here. As you can see that when I put the cursor on wrap content, it will show you what that particular does. This view should be only big enough to endorse its content. That means that here the blue lines that we can see, these blue lines will always only appear when it is in constraint layout. Keep in mind the blue lines will not be shown when it is in relative layout. But firstly, as we are doing constraint layout, we'll keep the blue lines. What these blue lines mean? It means that we have to make the text according with the borders from upside down and both the sides. We have to keep in touch. We have to make it build. I'll try running it again because it's my phone got disconnected. Now what we can see that what is the difference between wrap content and parent. Wrap content is the minimum space a word, a sentence can be written, and parent is the a whole space that a tool can be stretched. Means vertically, horizontally, it does not make any difference. It can be anything. Let's start with adding our second text view. I don't know, I think there is some problem here because it is taking so much time. Till then, can anyone tell me anyone has any doubts till we have done here? Till that it is still installing. Okay, I'll show you. Where is Kotlin? I'll show you. Yeah, it is fine with the physical. I am going to show you on physical device only because it is that you're going to have an app. Virtual device you can do in Mac. Like in MacBooks and iOS version, you have to use emulator because you cannot join the Android mobile phones in that. It is mainly based on those. Now, someone was asking where is Kotlin in all this. Here, as you can see, activity main XML. That is the version that you will be seeing what we design in the view. Now, what is Kotlin? We can just here you can see main activity.kt. That is where the Kotlin program will be seen. Here is the Kotlin program. It is a bit different, but for this app that we are going to make, we don't need this. Now we'll start with adding. Here is the hello world text. You can see I will show you in both how to change the text in code and also in design. Let's start with hello world, how to change in code. Once you click on code, you will see in the text view that hello world is there. Just remove it and we will write happy birthday. You can see here in the design panel, the hello world text has been changed to happy birthday. Now, what if you want this text to be in the uppermost corner of your design? There are two methods. You can just drag it. Once you drag it, the codes will be changed in the code section by itself. You will not have to write any code. You can see here that the constraint left, constraint right, that is the um, space from right hand side corner, left hand side top. It is already added. It's just that you have to design the app and all the codes will be come by itself. Now, as I showed you earlier, how to add text by dragging the text view. But what if I want to add text in the text view in the code section? You you just have to add text here. Now we'll go to design and see how to change the text in design. Now see in the component tree, as I told you about the hierarchy, the first the about text view and then next is the next text that will appear. Here is the next step that we are going to write, and in the right hand side thing that we can see a text view. Just click on that and we can change. What you have to write, we can write, may you have an amazing birthday. May you have an amazing birthday. You can see may you have an amazing birthday have been here. Okay. Now in the right hand side and say in the layout, you can see not horizontally constrained, not vertically constrained. What does this mean? As I told you that constrained layout may be a little confusing, as whenever you add a text, you have to constrain each text in order with the previous text that you have already written. Here I have written happy birthday and second text. We have to constrain both the text. And how to constrain that? You can see that I am using the second text to constrain with the first. You will always have to do this when you do a constraint layout. You have to constrain with down, sidewise, upper side. That's why it is a bit much, because it can also take a much of your time. Here I am constraining. As I have now constrained, it is not been showing that not constrained, as I have already constrained this. Now we'll again go to code. Split. Here now we can see that the new text that we have added has already appeared in the code section. This is the new text. As we added the text and we did the margin, we have already given the coordinates and all that. Now this is all in constraint layout. In constraint layout, always keep in mind that whenever you add a new text or a new image, you will have to constrain it by in order on the previous text that you have been written. But how to change the constraint into relative one? Let's see. In the main code that is already written, you just have to push down and you have to just write relative layout as we want. Once you put the arrow, You will find a bunch of options, relative layout, button, and other. But here we want relative layout instead of constraint. So just write relative layout. Now you can see the layout has been changed. We have done the layout width and height in match parent. As I told you about earlier, match parent is that you can write full sentences in one. Wrap content is when you have to constrain something in that. Now, how to add, which how to increase text size, decrease text size in relative layout. We can learn from here. Always keep in mind, if you open a relative layout here, you'll always have to end it. It would be easier for you if you do it in the starting only, because you won't forget them. If you start and you will not end the relative layout option here, you may get error, and it might be problem for you to identify what the error is. So before starting only, you can do that. Now we'll just learn how to increase the size. Always remember, the size pattern in relative layout is SP. As we all know, the size we can be different, like centimeters, meters. But in Kotlin, we generally use SPDP, and for here in relative, we'll use SP. For adding a text size, you just have to write, as there is happy birthday. Below that, you have to write text. Then already the drop down box will come, and you just have to select from drop down box, add Android text size, and add how much you want. We can write 20 SP. It is small. I want bigger. So let's try 50 SP. It has been duplicated. But okay, this is fine. Now, what about um, the next? May you have an amazing birthday. You can see in relative text view, happy birthday and may you have an amazing birthday. Both have been done in the both have been highlighted by something. It is that it already shows that you have a text written here. So always remember that whenever you want to change in color, size, text, shape, you have to always write below the text. So in there you have an amazing birthday, we can write again text. So here first in drop down is text size, and we can add here 30, but it is overlapping. So what can we do in order to differentiate it? You have to remove, as you can see, parent here 0.05. This thing is used in constraint layout. As we have changed the constraint layout from relative, the constraint written here in app layout, in both the section you have to remove that. Always keep in mind that only you have to remove only the constraint written in both the one. Now we have text size. Now we can differentiate both the things. How to differentiate? Top margin, low margin. We know that from margin we can, so here in, if we write top, there will be a drop down box and you can margin top, you can show, and I can write here PSP. So my happy birthday will be 50 SP down from the top margin. Similarly, we'll do same with may you and have an amazing birthday. We'll write top. We'll write if you're not getting, say, you can just copy paste. I don't know why I'm not getting the second top margin. Oh, it was already there. I did not see that. One big advantage of this is that you may get the red line, so you know that what the error is, what you have done same thing twice. you can just change here. As we have written 70 S, so remember that we have to write anything more than that, so it can come below it. This is now trial and error, how much you want. Okay, this is how it looks. Now, what you want, if you want to change the color of happy birthday, may you have an amazing birthday, the same that we have done with text. Below happy birthday, write color. Here you get a drop down box and you can select Android text color from it. Now, for now, you can choose any color. It's black, so I have chosen black. Now, you cannot see, but let's choose another color so you can see something. There will be a black dot, but black is the color, so we just choose a white for now. Let's see any color. Now see, you can see here a blue box. Now you want to change color, you can just click on the blue box and you can change any color you want. Then you can go some, there will you get a large range of colors that you might want. You can choose. For here I'm choosing this color. Same we'll do with may you have an amazing birthday, right color. You will have a drop down, then you can choose one from it, choose anything. You'll have a dot, change. Now it is, I hope that you pay attention it. I have to change the font. How can I change the font into bold, italics or something? See, we can do the same by writing font size here. Style. And just write text style, it will come along. Android text. See, you can see here bold, italic, normal. Let's try with italic. Similarly, you can do with happy birthday too. Now I want another text view because I want this birthday card to be tell the who have given this birthday card. You can just copy paste the same, or you can just drop down from the text view. It is always up to you what you want to use. I just copy paste the whole thing because it already has the margin and all. Then I just have to change the margin. Now here I have the same thing. I'll just write from Vaishvi here. We'll just have to, now I want this on the bottom right hand side corner. As we have done about the margin top, we can do the same thing, like I'll show you. In the top margin I have done 600 as I wanted in below, but what if I want in the right hand drop side? So I'll write margin start. So it will show that from starting of the margin how much space I want. Now it is just trial and error that you have to do. 200 SPR, anything. Okay, now see, there might be some yellow dots you will be seeing here, like here, here, here. You have to extract string source. Now, what exactly is this string source? This string source is that this may not be able to run on normal basis because it does not have this source here. In order to remove all these yellow lines, you will have to extract string source. For example, like this. You can just put an extract string source and just put OK. You don't have to do anything, just you have to make that this code that we have written is available on the app that we are going to run on our mobile devices. But you have to do in everything. There's one more left. It will mostly be coming on text or images. We'll again try running it. Let's see. Let's see how it comes. Now keep in mind that how I have written when you start an app, it is generally that in the previous one I showed you that I have written my birthday, but here I have written a birthday card. Here the Gradle build running as I have started running the program again. Let's see if it does. It is not only that you can add bold and italics in this, you can also add underline section. Now remember, anything you want to do here in relative layout, you just have to add a text view. Now see here in Gradle building, you can see the install option is coming. After every Gradle build, it will show an install one. Till then, you can see success, operation succeeded. And now I'm going to show you how it looks on my phone. Here I have used Visor, as I told you that in order to do this, you have to install Visor on a mobile phone also. Now we'll start view. This is the screen of our mobile phone. The thing we have made will be shown here. Now you can see that something has been shown. This is my mobile phone. I can show you by simply going back. See, this is my main page. And this is the app that I have made. Happy birthday, you have an amazing birthday. This is the basic app that you will have to be doing on your task. Now let us just close it for now. Now I'll show you how to add an image to this text. To this that. Now always remember, while adding an image, the image file should always be in PNG. There are different types of image files, JPG, JPEG, but we in Android Studio, we always use PNG file. Here you can download any image PNG file from Google. I have already done. I've already installed the PNG file, so I just drag the image view as I'm doing the same palette version here as we done in the text view. So now what we have to do PNG. Once you download PNG file, you will have to import it to the drawable. So what is drawable? You can see here on the right left hand side that I told you the projects are saved. Similarly, there is a resource option, and then when you do resource option, there will be a drawable option. Click on that. Right click on that. Then here you will get show in Explorer. Here show in Explorer, I have already a picture downloaded in desktop. It was in happy birthday picture. Whenever see here, happy birthday PNG file, it is here. Now remember, when you download the picture, you have to save it on the desktop or anywhere that is accessible easily. Now copy it and then paste it in the same drawable file that we done earlier in the resource one. Now paste it here. I've already pasted. Now go to the Android option and you can see here the drawable option has come. And also you have to rename this file. Rename is necessary, otherwise an error will show because you have downloaded from this. Now you can see in the resource the red line that appeared before has gone completely. Whether you can rename anything, the same one you also can remember. Now again we'll drop down the image view. And now you can see here the birthday card that I have already installed. I can see here. Now you have to just click OK. Now the image has been added, and as you can see in the code, I'll show you the code. This is the image from Vaishvi. You can see here that we last text that we added, and the image view has been added as we then drop down here. You can see here the everything. Now we'll again try and run this how it shows on a mobile. As in the mobile it was black background, I want to change the background color, so you just have to write background. You can change anything from here also. I just keep it white for now, and we'll run the app again the same way we did earlier. The grader build is running. Now I want to tell you something. The image that we are adding, it can be an image added on top of text or text added on of image. This image I have used to add an image. But what if I want to use this image as a background? The background can be color also, the simple color, as we I told you about the add color in relative layout. But if you don't want simple color as your background, you can also add an image as a background. This I will show you afterwards after this. As I told you that it is installing. Now what is Gradle build? Gradle build is just an comment that shows that the app, the code that you have written in Android Studio is building into an app. Now let's again see wiser what you will have to review again and again. I'm showing on my mobile phone. You can see happy birthday. May you have a happy birthday from Vaishvi. This is, as you have noticed earlier, the background was black, but here the background is white. You can change the background, and just I close this again and show you there is a simple method to make the image that you posted into background. As you can see the component tree here, as we talked about earlier, that component tree shows the hierarchy. That first we added a text view, then again text and image. Now I want that this image should be background. I'll just import this image, drag this image in front of the first text view. That way, this image will become my background. You cannot see here. We'll just try and change the background color once. Here I have put the image in the background. Now again, when it will not show anything when you run, it will be the same as this. As I showed you earlier about the dragging of image view in the top, the same thing has happened here in the code view. The image code was in the last, as you may remember, as we added the image in the last. But now it has come on top. You can also just copy paste here, but it will be much simple if you do it in the design view. If you go to design view here, you can see the image view here. Let's try and add text. Any text that we here, there's the attribute section. You can also change the attributes from here if you want. 30 SP, 600 SP, everything here is written. You just have to change. It might be easy for you, but I had showed you in the code so that you can code easier and you can understand also easier. Design is the shortcut method, obviously, but the code is necessary if you want. The code you don't have to remember also. It is just that you have to write background or color or size. I think this must be so it for you for today. I have showed you how to add text, how to add multiple text in your app, how to add image, and how to make the image background of your app. So this is it. So how did you like your today's presentation? Did you find that informative? Did you learn anything? Can anyone answer? Okay, now there is a final thing. I don't know if it has been told or not, but when you want that your app, when you want your app to run in your mobile, there are some things that you have to do. Uh, the debugging method. I don't know if someone has told, but I'll just remind you again. If you want the app to run on your, if you want the code to run on your mobile phone and you want it to be converted into an app, you have to go into settings. If you want to do it, please do it now on your Android mobile phones. I will be going slowly. Go to your settings, search about phone. In about phone, there will be an option named as build number. If you don't have the build number on about phone, you can just search it in the settings, build number, build number. Then you have to click build number 7 times. 7 times. They might ask you for your pin code of your phone if you have any, or they might not also, but remember that you have to click it 7 times. When you click that 7 times and again go to your settings, below about phone, there will be an option named as developer option. The developer option will be only enabled if you click build number 7 times. Once you have done that, go to developer options and enable USB debugging. If you do not do that, your app will not run on your mobile phones. Have you all done the thing that I asked? You have to enable USB debugging in order to run the apps on your mobile phones. Yes, this might be it. So if you have any doubt, you can personally contact me. Then my contact informations are on the flyer and also the message sent in all the groups. Thank you everyone. I also enjoyed teaching you.
Just a minute, everyone. I would first like to thank Vaishvi for conducting such an enthusiastic and a long 2 hour workshop. Also, I would like to thank audience for being such a sport and asking doubts on regularly. Also, I have pasted some of DSC SCET social media handles in the Google Meet chat box. So do look at those handles and do subscribe to them, as we are always posting some full useful content related to technologies or related to any domain. Apart from that, if you want to start your career or if you want to follow any path regarding any domain, you can feel free to ask doubt us on Instagram or any other community platform, or even you can ping Parth, who is the lead of the DSC SCET, or even you can ping me. My name is Hed Dalal, and or you can ping any another core team member of the DSC, or you can ping even Vaishvi. Apart from that, last but not the least, as would have mentioned earlier in the beginning of workshop about Technovanza Instagram series. So guys, please do have a look on that poster which is already posted on Instagram, and do check about its rules and what kind of a event it is. And we have also kept cash price for that same Technovanza series, which is up to 3,000 rupees. So yeah, that's it from my side. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, so if anyone is not having doubts, so we will be concluding the workshop.
Yeah, thank you everyone for attending the workshop and being such a sport. Hope to see you in next workshop soon.